Welcome to MojoPlays, and today we'll be looking at the video game franchises that managed to kill, or at least deal a serious blow, to their competition. Before we begin, we publish new content all week long, so be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. Grand Theft Auto killed Driver. A lot of people tend to forget that Grand Theft Auto began its life as a top-down experience. When Driver came along, its 3D version of GTA's gameplay looked ready to steal the title of the industry's king of crime games. However, GTA struck back with Grand Theft Auto 3 that was essentially better than Driver in every way, and set the standard for sandbox gameplay. Although Driver continued to put out games for around a decade, it couldn't compete with Grand Theft Auto's more consistent quality and popularity. Overwatch killed Battleborn. The early bird doesn't always get the worm, as this franchise proved. Battleborn is a TF2-style multiplayer arena game that was intended to be the big hit of 2016. Yet, Overwatch, which was released soon after it, managed to overshadow it immediately. This was thanks in large part due to its overwhelming hype and impressive advertisement campaign, which had everyone practically salivating for the game by the time it was released. The addicting and fun gameplay also had a big part in Overwatch's success too. Battleborn couldn't compete and was soon forgotten, except for in videos like this, I guess. Final Fantasy killed Phantasy Star. The biggest name in JRPG video games wasn't always a simple answer. During the late 1980s and early 1990s, JRPGs were in abundance, but two early frontrunners emerged: Final Fantasy on Nintendo consoles and Phantasy Star on Sega consoles. Although Phantasy Star appeared poised to take the lead with its unique blend of fantasy and sci-fi, Final Fantasy proved the more popular franchise, delivering hit after hit for the most part, with many of its games acting as the first or defining RPG experiences for gamers. Although Phantasy Star games continued being made, they just couldn't compete with their franchise's formal rival. Counter-Strike killed Quake. Multiplayer first-person shooters have seen plenty of standout stars over the years, but one of the first big names was the Quake franchise. Quake quickly developed a cult following that still persists to this day with its adaptable engine and fun gameplay. Unfortunately, the turn of the millennium shook things up for Quake when Counter-Strike, a game which originated as a mod, saw mainstream success. The franchise quickly gained traction and helped set the standard for multiplayer FPS games from then on. Although Quake still has its devoted followers, it's no longer the epicenter of online shooters. Sonic the Hedgehog killed Alex Kidd. When people think Sega, they think Sonic, right? Well, not always. Prior to the Blue Blur speeding onto the scene, Sega's flagship franchise was this platformer series starring the eponymous character. However, Sega needed a flashier mascot to compete with Nintendo's Golden Boy Mario, which resulted in Sonic's creation. Sonic's momentum-based gameplay and his iconic design made him an instant hit, leading to more heavy competition between Sega and Nintendo. Although Alex has appeared occasionally in cameos in several Sega games, his days in the spotlight are long over, while Sonic remains a major presence in multiple mediums. StarCraft killed Command & Conquer.
Upgrade complete.
Give me something to shoot.
For many years, there was only one name in real-time strategy games that mattered: Command & Conquer. But the primarily historical battle game faced steep competition for the first time with StarCraft, despite only receiving no new games and a single expansion for around a decade. The sci-fi RTS pulled ahead though with the release of its long-awaited sequel in 2010, cementing it as the de facto choice for fans of the real-time strategy genre.
Mutation complete.
Meanwhile, Command & Conquer has languished for years without a new release, and could not maintain its popularity like StarCraft did. Call of Duty killed Medal of Honor.
Blow the charge. Breaching! Go!
The most prestigious US military award lent its name to one of the most prestigious FPS video game series with Medal of Honor. Made famous by games set in World War II, Medal of Honor was ultimately laid low by some of its former developers who departed the franchise to create Call of Duty. Although the new franchise initially aped its predecessor's early 20th century setting, Call of Duty would eclipse Medal of Honor in popularity with its game-changing modern warfare games. Medal of Honor tried to aim for a similar setting with its releases, but they missed the mark. Madden NFL killed all other football games. Gather round, youngsters. Back in our day, there were football games besides Madden. Crazy, we know. Oh sure, Madden was talked about, but there were other franchises such as NFL 2K or Blitz. NFL 2K5 in particular got everyone's attention, and rightfully so.
Takes the long snap and punts it away.
Well, EA, who owned the Madden franchise, just couldn't measure up with its shoddy products shilled out year after year. Yet despite EA's mediocre games, they had one thing going for them: money. So, the miserable Grinches decided to buy an exclusive license with the NFL, which meant that no one would be able to look better than them ever again. Well, in theory.
He's going to take a shot for the end zone. Oh, he had 6 points in his hands there, couldn't hang on.
Check out these other great clips from MojoPlays, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.